So I'm not really a country music fan. I don't know, I've just never really been one, but um, there is one country song that pretty much sums up my life right now as a student. It goes, I heard it on the radio the other day. It goes something like, I'm in a hurry to get things done. I rush around until life's no fun. All I really got to do is live or die, but I'm in a hurry and don't know why. And I think that song pretty much sums up my life right now. This semester I'm taking 18 credits, working a part-time job, and in my spare time I volunteer for this program at the Provo Library called Project Read. So my life is pretty busy. Today I decided to take the camera with me on a journey through the school halls, just to follow my daily routine. I used to, in high school, be sort of a social butterfly, but now, with my busy schedule, I don't really have very much time for that. So my lack of social life has kind of led me into this habit of talking to myself whenever I drive, or even sometimes when I walk through the halls. And sometimes people think I'm crazy, but, you know, it's actually a really therapeutic thing for me. As strange as it sounds, it's actually a lot easier for me to say things, to say exactly how I feel when no one else is listening. I think it's because I can trust that I'm not going to offend myself. I don't really have to worry about what I think. I can just be me. But most of the conversations that I have with myself are about the time that my family and I were homeless. The summer before my freshman year in high school, my dad came home from work one day and announced that we'd be moving to Pennsylvania. We had been living in Florida at the time, and so this was a pretty big move. Now, it wasn't unusual for my family to move. We moved just about every year of my childhood, but this time we were going without knowing exactly where we would live, and my dad didn't really have a job. He had a job interview lined up, but no job. And so 2 weeks later, we packed up the U-Haul and made our way to Pennsylvania. When we got there, my dad had his job interview. We decided to camp for 2 weeks while we were waiting for a place to live. And my dad did end up getting the job, so things looked like they were going to turn out all right. But unfortunately, his job only lasted a day, so our 2-week camp out sort of became a 2-month camp out. And while Dad was looking for a job, we just stayed at the KOA. And it wouldn't have been so bad, but there were 6 of us in my family and 6 people in a tent. It might have been fun for a 1 or 2 week vacation, but not for 2 months. We moved into my aunt's basement and lived there for a few weeks, maybe even a few months, until my dad finally got a job and we were able to find a place to live. And we moved into a rotting duplex on College Avenue in Elizabethtown, Pennsylvania. My room was pretty much just a storage closet that was above the staircase. It wasn't even big enough for us to fit any furniture in there, not even like a small bed. So I pretty much just kept my clothes in there and stored my belongings in there. I tried to sleep in there a few nights, but most of the time I ended up sleeping down on the couch. A year or so went by, and during that time, money was still tight. They repossessed our van, and eventually we weren't able to pay rent again, and so we had to move into another place about a block and a half away. And most people don't believe me that the house was surrounded on 3 sides by a chocolate factory, but it was. On 3 sides, it was surrounded by the chocolate factory, and then on the 4th side, it faced a set of railroad tracks that led into the factory. And that's where I lived my high school life. I never had people over. I was always too embarrassed. And I can still remember the thick smell of chocolate and the constant humming that came from the factory. Every morning at 3 or 4 in the morning, there would be a train that would deliver chocolate, or deliver goods to the chocolate factory, and it was just not the best place. And so I think the memory of being homeless and of living in those duplexes that were just not good situations, I mean, they kind of haunt me still, I think. The thought of my two little girls having to live the way that I did, it's just, I don't like to think about it. And I guess if I had to say why I rush around the way I do, it's probably because of that. It's probably because I just don't want them to have to live the way I did.